Hello, this is Tonya Gossage with Gossage Performance Consulting, here with you today with Jeffery Yarbrough and Rachael Ruiz. And today we want to talk to you about closing the deal and having some always when you close the deal. And so that may sound like an interesting topic. And while it is an interesting topic, you always, always, always have to have some always. And we're going to start with always writing a proposal. When you're going through the sales process, you always want to write out a proposal for someone. What is it that you are giving them? Whether you're at the coffee shop, at a ball game, and you're talking to someone, whatever the deal is that you're making with the individual, write it out on a napkin, a piece of paper, whatever it is that you have. You want to fully write out that deal so that the customer knows what it is that they're getting from you. I actually taught a training to a bank here just recently, and I was sharing with them that if the customer is actually shopping and you are the first entity that they've shopped and you give it all to them verbally, by the time that they walk away from you, they're probably going to forget all of the details that you've discussed with them, so that when they go to the second and or the third one, they're not going to remember all of the details that you gave them. And so they're either going to have to call you back, they're going to have to text you or email you or whatever that might be, or they may just say, oh, forget it. I like what this individual said to me because they gave it to me in writing. So therefore, I will go with this particular deal. So you always want to write out your proposal or the details of what it is that you're going to give to the individual. Jeffery, Rachael, anything you want to add there?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say that, like you said, Tonya, you can write on anything. It could be the napkin in the restaurant, or even a text message to them. Just give them something that it is in writing, because, like you said, everybody likes to shop, or everybody likes to think they like to shop, and so by the time you go around to a few different places, you're going to forget. Everything starts running together. I know I've gone before and taken pictures of stuff, and then by the time I'm at the end, I'm like, which picture went with which store? Where was this? What was it? So being able to write it out, on the back of a business card or whatever it is very helpful.
Absolutely. Something that comes to mind, and this is hilarious, but back when Bill and I were dating, we can add some humor. We can make these lives authentic, right?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be ourselves. I'll make this one a little humorous. But back when we were dating, I was working at a restaurant, and typically you tip the waitress. Well, Bill did not have any cash on hand. He had been working. I think at that point in time, he was doing some lawn maintenance work for the school that he was working for, and I was working at a restaurant, and I had waited on him, and he didn't have any money. And so he was going to leave me a tip, but he didn't have the cash. So he wrote on a small piece of napkin, I owe you 1 cent tip. It was a joke, but that was the proposal or the contract that he was giving me, that he owed me money. And I'll never forget that, In fact, I think I still have that in an envelope in a safety deposit box, because I wanted to keep that. But yeah, so it doesn't matter what you write it on, but you want it to be remembered so that as you go out in your shopping, that you have those details on something. The next one is always ask for the purchase. You always want to ask. I know oftentimes people who are in sales, they're too shy. They're too embarrassed. They don't like the rejection. I attended yesterday a WebEx webinar, and at the end, the individual was supposed to pitch a deal, pitch an offer at the end. And you could tell she was very uncomfortable doing that. So, anyway, you just want to be out in the open about your product. You have to love your product. You want to get that out there to the world. You should love it enough that you and believe in it enough that you want everybody needs our training. We want everybody to be coached by us because we believe in what we do. We believe in the training packages that we have, and we believe that everybody should want to 10x their life. We believe that everybody should want to 10x their sales. Everybody should want to 10x their marketing. Everybody should want to 10x their leadership and their management skills. And so they should want to hear what we have to share and tell. And so why are they not joining, or why do people not get into our Facebook groups, or why do they not give us a call, or those types of things? So people should want to do those things. So always ask people, join us, buy my product, come to my boot camp, come to my whatever. And so in sales today, people should be forthcoming about buying their network marketing product, to be forthcoming in buying their Girl Scout cookies, be forthcoming about buying at my lemonade stand, be forthcoming about getting your dog groomed by me, or whatever that is. We should not be afraid to ask for the business. Any comments there?
Yeah, I know. I agree. I've seen it time and time again. People just don't ask. They're at the end of the presentation or at the end of whatever it is, and they're just like, "Okay, have a great day." They assume that if you wanted it, then you would say you wanted it, when really they've got to ask to be able to get the business.
Or it's, if you know of anyone interested, let me know. Or if you decide you're interested, give me a call. Let me know, instead of asking people for it.
Yeah.
Always ask again. We talked about, Rachael, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? We were on here and we were talking about it takes 5 to 12 times to contact somebody before you might get a yes. Rachel's been making calls. We were preparing for our boot camp, and Rachel's been making calls and Jeffrey's been making calls. We've all been making calls to get people in our boot camp, and sometimes it requires more than one call to get people into to purchase whatever it is that you have to purchase. And so, ask again, and ask again. Always ask again. And Rachael brought up follow-up yesterday. It's follow-up, ask, follow-up, ask, follow-up. Use a third-party system. There's many third-party systems. It could be text, it could be video. And Rachael, you and Jeffrey may think of others, but while I'm sharing this story, but I do want to share this story with you because I think this individual was so intelligent in what they did. And, you could use this, whether it's in your place of work, in your network marketing place of business, in your insurance, in your real estate, in your dental practice, in your doctor practice, nursing, whatever it is that you do, you could utilize this. But again, I thought this was so smart. Roofing, window sales, whatever. But I had a gentleman call me back a month and a half or so ago now. And we were getting together at an event, And this person called me and he was like, I want to know all of the details about your business. I want to know what you did before your business, how you got into your business, what got you there, how you've done, what happened to you during COVID. And I thought, goodness, I wonder why he wants to know all this information. Is he nosy? Does he want to join me? Does he want to mimic what I'm doing? You know, what's the goal here? What's the objective here? And we talked for a long time, and he was asking me so many questions. And then when we got to the event, it wasn't long until this individual was like, Tonya, I want you to meet this person, and I want you to meet that person, and I want you to tell him what happened to you in this particular situation, and I want you to tell this couple what happened to you and this individual. And then I realized this individual was using me as a third party validation. And before I knew it, he and I were a team of closing deals for him. And come to find out, and Jeffrey's laughing because he knows exactly where we're going with this, but this individual was the top money earner in closing deals over that particular event. He wasn't the number one number of deals in quantity, but in value, he was the number one. And it was so much practice for me in helping close all of those deals and being that validation for him. It was phenomenal, but it showed me too the power of a third party validation and what that could do for me, for any of you that are out there, just having that connection and understanding the intricate details of a relationship and knowing how somebody else's business worked, and the power of just that one conversation did for that individual, so that he could say, I know somebody you need to meet. I know somebody that's been through what you've been through. And I know how this one course and what this one course did for somebody. I mean, man, just the power of that. And then the power of the validation, third-party validation of texting, videoing, video messages, voice messages, phone call messages, Skype, all of these types of things that you can use for third-party validation. Jeffrey, Rachel, do y'all want to add anything to that? I know you guys got to witness that particular situation, but anything you want to add there? You're on mute.
Oh.
Sorry, no, I think you covered it all. That was, validation being, so important and so helpful and beneficial to your closing.
One thing that I wanted to say too, though, was, when I was first learning about the third party validation, I was a little confused at first about who is the third party. But like you just described, it can be anybody. You were just an acquaintance at that point, that had an experience, and he utilized the experience there to have that conversation. So all of those other forms, the electronic forms, but also, an acquaintance, a manager, a coworker, a friend, whoever it is, can be that third party validation.
Yes, it doesn't matter. It does not matter who it is. And then one of the others is always ask why. Why today? Why did you come to this event today when we have multiple events? Why did you choose this one? Basically, why is right now the right time? Or why haven't you done this before now? There's all types of questions that you can ask to start figuring out the answers to how to close that customer. And so, these go into those hard questions. And I love the power of the hard questions, but always asking questions that begin with the why. You know, the asking of the why. Why did you pick up the phone today, Jeffrey? You know, why did you agree to meet me today, Rachael? So that I can begin to understand how to go into that close with you. And then the other one is, why not? You know, why are you not buying today, Rachael? And then, you know, always, always, always the bonus is have the great attitude. It always has to start with a great attitude. And if you don't have that great attitude, you know, your sale, your closing, going into the hard questions, going into the fact finding, which the fact finding is, you know, first there. But, you know, without that great attitude, nothing is going to work out for you. Nothing is going to go right. If you don't get up in the morning with that great attitude, the rest of your day is not going to go right. So you definitely have to have that great attitude. Anything you guys want to add to any of those that we've talked about? Okay, so lastly, we've talked about our boot camp. We are so excited, if you can't tell. We are so excited about our boot camp. And we've talked about Nick Kobzar and I doing the boot camp, but Rachel's actually going to be speaking at our boot camp as well. She's going to talk to you guys about social media and how to get yourself out there with social media. And we do have financing for the boot camp, and we've not talked about that at all. But we have partnered with a company. That's the same company that Grant Cardone is partnered with. But we have financing available. So if you've not clicked into the details of our funnel, our tickets are $397 for an individual. They are, we have a duo ticket for $597, and then we have a team ticket for those of you that are businesses that have multiple salespeople or your network marketing companies, and you want to pull together and share and split a ticket. We have 4 tickets for $997. And we would love for you guys to get together like that and split it up. You can go to Fayetteville, you can come to Little Rock. But if you don't have the financing for that, we will finance it for you. All you need to do is just reach out to us. Many of you have my cell phone number. You know how to get a hold of me through Facebook Messenger. But we will get you qualified and get you to the boot camp. We do not want you to miss out. We have been so blessed through this information, and we want you to be blessed through it as well. So with that, that is all that we have, other than showing you how that you can register, and that is through our businessbootcamp.tonyagossage.com. So again, that's businessbootcamp.tonyagossage.com. Be sure and get out there and register today. Our seats are filling up. I will tell you that. We have taken some massive action on getting people in the seats. And so we will not have another event until January. So we want you to get into this so that you can close out the year with massive action, just like we plan on doing as well. So give us a buzz or a DM if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Rachael, for joining me here today. We love you all. 10x day to you, and we will hopefully see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thanks.